Hello everyone. I'm gonna talk about something that I usually don't talk about in my channel, but I felt like, well, why the fuck not? So I'm going to. I've been having this Fangan, what I've been writing. The thing is, I'm really bad at it. I'm really bad at writing stuff. I'm really bad at it, but it's fun, so I've been doing it. I did stop at some time, but it gave me some experience when it comes to writing, and I came to a conclusion that might help some people, which is just when you're writing a fangan, if you're trying to do too much at once, like too much stuff, you overcomplicate things, that's gonna be a really big problem. And that's what I had, one of my issues when I was writing, because I like complicated stuff. And I like it when the mystery has some really wild things to it. I also liked the idea of different motives being pretty much out of the ordinary. I liked stuff that are pretty different. I'm not saying it to praise my stuff, I'm saying it because it was too much for me. Because I made too much bullshit at some point. Because the problem was that I overcomplicated everything, and that's not good. When you overcomplicate something, it's gonna fail a lot if you are not a really good writer. And I don't think I am yet. I'm pretty much a starter, and writing in English is pretty much just wow. Some people I saw were so much younger than me who write so much better and correctly. And then here I am from a foreign country that doesn't even talk English well or not even talk it at all. We just learn it from school, but not everyone knows that language at all. So I've been trying my best, okay? Also, the educational system is bullshit, okay? English, if you don't teach yourself here, you're not gonna know how to fucking talk the language. But anyways, what I was trying to say was, um, I've been having this fangan, which had, you know, you can guess by now, it's ponies. Because I grown up with My Little Pony. That was my childhood stuff. So, of course, I'm gonna ruin the thing that made me um, really happy as a kid. Of course, I'm gonna do that. Of course, I didn't really post the stuff I was writing anywhere because I felt like, well, it's pretty shitty. But I also was like, well, I still gonna make some art about the characters at some point because even though I'm not gonna finish the project because I'm just not believing in myself enough to do that, I still really liked the chapter one I did because it just felt pretty good. I'm really brutal when it comes to stuff. I'm even though it's about ponies, I went really crazy with it. I also like the idea of double protagonists, so I did that too. Um, I can say that the plot and the chapters of what I was thinking I would make. I wanted to have this character, this green haired pony, to be one of the main characters. The second one I didn't even make a normal artwork for, but he had he was orange and he had yellow mane. Okay, he had yellow hair, and he was a Pegasus. So, two dudes as protagonists. If you don't get the pony stuff, it's okay because this character would actually talk like a human being because he did the fucking isekai shit and then he now is a fucking human. He came from the Danganronpa universe, so that's why he's important because he came from there and the other ponies are just ponies. And as he enters the stuff, I think he would be the main character if I didn't want to have another protagonist that was more pony like, that was more normal to the society they were living in. Because I felt like, if there's only if there's someone that enters this really new thing, that would be really relatable to the audiences that doesn't know My Little Pony at all. So I went like this. Um, I also went like I made the other character's name Bernie, like Burn, because he has like a burn mark on his face from a really traumatic experience. As I said, I am a tragic bitch. I write the tragic stuff. So obviously, I've written him a backstory too. And this one has a backstory too. I made a lot of characters have backstories in the story. Um, I can just tell what happens in the story. Uh, Even though it's got fucking spoilers, I don't know if I ever gonna write this down ever, so it doesn't fucking matter. So the prologue happens, and the characters learn that they're being stuck in a killing game, and the person, well, Pony, in this scenario, is actually really evil. He's um in the main antagonist level, just like fucking the just like Danganronpa's first villain was. He's that bad. But what I wanted to do was an interesting thing because I felt like, well, why not reveal him in the first like prologue? Because I felt like, well, it would be fun, okay? I didn't even think much about it. I was like, okay, he's just gonna be there. I didn't want him to be exposed. I wanted him to be straight up like say it like, hey, I'm the mastermind. I kidnapped all of you. And you can't kill me because I'm overpowered, so you can fuck yourselves. And that's exactly what happens in it. That's what happens in it. And it's amazing. It's really funny. Well, not for them, but for me, it was funny. Um, so yeah, I did this, but then I was like, well, how can I make this character even more brutal? Well, he has this, he's this alicorn character who is pretty much the mascot, but he doesn't get even used because why would he fucking need a mascot if he's there? But anyways, he has this mascot character that's actually a pony, and that basically eats a little pony, a little kid, in front of the whole group, and that's how they get introduced to the mascot, which is yeah. And then the willing character is like, well, I can go worse. I can do worse things than that. So in chapter one, when there's this big fight about something, this dickhead just straight up cuts off one of the characters' just wings, and he says, "Well, I don't like it when things are not symmetrical because that character lost her wing before, so she only had one. So this dickhead just went, you know what? One more." One more, get rid of. Relive your trauma, bitch. So that's pretty much what happens. Also, There's a lot of characters, as I said. Danganronpa has like 15 or 16 students usually, so I went like that. I just made a lot of them. The main important characters are um, Lemon. He's pretty much Burn Blaze one of his friends that traumatized his ass. That's the reason why his face was burned. And then there's another guy who is pretty much like, I just named him Dash because, well, obviously I'm gonna copy My Little Pony because obviously I'm gonna do that. So that's a little Easter egg. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but yeah, those two guys are just rivals in every type of way with each other. So yeah. Also, I made Lime and Burn have this really big um like antagonistic like thing going on with each other even though they're protagonists. I felt like that would make sense because Lime Healer in this story is so fucking overpowered that of course everyone thinks he's evil because he has to be. And the way villain also just simps for him, so it's all going downhill for him. Everyone is turning against him in like the first chapter or the second one. I don't even fucking know. But he gets all of this shit going on, and then Burn is basically the antagonist, even though he's the fucking protagonist also. So if I have to just say it in a easier way to understand, the green dude is um this guy who I'm staring right now on the screen. He is not supposed to be evil. He's actually pretty good, but he's morally gray because he also has this ghost friend he can activate who will fight for him when he's in danger. Now, that friend of his is not evil actually. That friend of his is actually a good guy. But people think he's fucking crazy because he talks to himself sometimes, he talks to ghosts, he can just straight up do things that other ponies can't because he came from another world. So obviously he's gonna be an isekai fucking motherfucker. So obviously he's so powerful and fuck knows. He also has healing powers, but wait a minute, he can't use it. You know why? You know what was the stupidest reason why he couldn't use it? It's so funny. He can't use the powers because the villain took it away from him, but then he gets them back. So what the fuck? And then he can use it again. So it plot convenience is nothing, man. Like, can you use your healing abilities or no? You could save everyone, you dumbass. Okay, but he's basically a nurse, so he can at least help in that regard. So that's the thing. So why does he have special powers when everyone else does not? Well, my explanation to this is basically in Danganronpa there was this thing that I seen, which was just ultimates, right? Characters who had ultimate talents. And that makes sense, but I wanted to spice it up a little bit because yes, ultimates are amazing, but I also wanted to just give. Okay, I'm gonna explain this in the most stupid way possible. Lime Healer wasn't even supposed to be from the Danganronpa universe. He was supposed to be from one of my stories, and I just took him and put him in Danganronpa because, well, obviously he's gonna be in every universe because of course he has to be traumatized everywhere. So yes, I did this because fuck him. But also no. So I don't even have a reason why he's in here. And in his original universe, he has healing powers and his friends have other powers too. So it makes sense in there, in that context. If I have to really think about it, I would say that um, process of elimination. Wait, was it process of elimination? Am I stupid again? Wait. Uh, yeah, it was. I'm just getting paranoid that I'm gonna say something that's not even true. But yeah, in that one, characters had these like special things that they had because they were detectives. I don't know if you guys know that game, but in that game, characters had special like abilities because they were experimented on. So I wanted to bring something like that into this. I just make excuses for why he's fucking overpowered. Yes, yes, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped the fucking story too, because I felt like, well, he's too OP. He's gonna live and no one's gonna be surprised by that shit. But I love him. I don't give a fuck. There's also Bernie's stuff that I was just talking about. Who Bernie is just basically the antagonist for Lime, and Lime is kind of antagonist to Bernie because um, Bernie has a really big ego, right? And he can't stand someone who he thinks is dumbass is just straight up carrying the whole fucking cast. And that's the thing with Lime. He's amazing when it comes to group work, but he is kind of bad when it comes to being alone. So he does this thing where he's pretty good with people. So with ponies, obviously. I think that's because he had a really toxic friend group and he had to do everything in his way to fucking survive that. So now he can deal with a lot of stuff and he also just acts like a leader a lot of times, even though he doesn't want to be a leader because he thinks he's not smart enough to be a leader. He just becomes the leader. And Bernie doesn't like it because he has a massive ego, as I said. His ego is really huge, even though he hates himself. So basically, he's a narcissistic character. And that flaw is really bad because there's a lot of characters in the story that don't take that shit and will get mad at him. So he gets outcasted at 1.2, but not at the same time as Lime because these two are usually against each other, right? So at some point they both gonna be outcasted at the same time. I think that would be a good time for them to actually get like some development with each other. Their relationship get better, I guess, as friends. So as I was saying, the story when it comes to this is pretty much like the motives are usually really brutal. Ponies die left and right in this. Not specifically the characters, not the cast, but outsiders die a lot. So ponies that they are close to gets their head chop off and just sent to them, and like a lot of bullshit. A lot of the characters have no fucking like they don't have plot armor basically. So if something hurts them, they're not gonna just fly out and be okay. They just it hurts a lot, right? One of the main characters I would call Dash loses one of his legs and it needs to be put back together like in a way of the villain gives him another robot leg just because Lime Hero X oh my god asked that because The villain only listens to this guy. Why? I don't fucking know. Okay, no, I do know they have some past together that the villain doesn't want to tell anyone. But the thing is, Lime really gets along with the bad guy, and that's a bad thing for a lot of characters because he's supposed to be the leader, right? So it's all going to shit. At some point, he turns against everyone and doesn't kill the bad guy, even though he's right in front of him. I mean, he could, just when he's powered up. He doesn't do it because the group treated him like shit before, which is just really petty and stupid. But he does this. And of course the group is gonna hate him after that. And it's kind of understandable, honestly. Like what? Um but after that he does fucking save them in the trial, so it's like, well, just choose your fucking side. Where are you right now? Like what side are you on? The good or the bad? And he's go, no. I'm the side of getting the fuck out alone. And that's in his head, but he's not gonna say that. He's even in one of the chapters, the characters are trying to kill him, and he just doesn't die. Like that's one of the things that happen in one of the chapters. Like he gets saved, which again, no one else has plot armor. So what the fuck is going on? While the fucking villain likes him because he knows him. So obviously there's gonna be plot armor for him, but not everyone else. But that fucking relationship ends when one of Lime's family members' heads get found in a fucking box. That's one of the motives he gets. And he gets traumatized by that shit because he already saw that once before, but he didn't remember it. So yeah, he sees the only fucking person, Tony, in his life that he loved and cared for him die. Well, dead. So that's really fun. That's amazing, right? But he's not the only one who gets traumatized in that chapter. Mostly every character gets that fucking trauma. Even some of them even see worse things than that. So yeah, I think that's in. Was it? Which chapter was that motive in? Let me do my research and not talk out of my ass. Like, come on. The thing is, I have a lot of like stories, so okay, so yeah, it's in chapter 2. Yay! It's in chapter 2. Yeah, a lot of characters get really fucked up motives in that chapter. So Limehero gets the motive that he's dead, has his head in a fucking box. Burnblade gets a bow, which was related to one of his friends die, which he blames himself for. So that's one of the motives he has. Obviously, the dead characters don't really get big of a motives because, well, they are fucking dead. There's a lot of drama when it comes to these. Yeah, I think one of the worst ones is one of the characters have her mom pinned in a Christmas tree in a really brutal fashion. And that's just insane. I don't even know why I did that. Oh yeah, and then we have another character whose motive is that his own sister burned his parents to death. Like that's just so fun. Like so funny, so fun. Yeah, I think I need therapy. Yeah, I have a lot of brutal shit. I don't think if I made this Fangan, people would have liked it because it was just so fucking brutal. In chapter one, I can talk about chapter one because that's the one I've written down. Uh, the actual victim tried to eat his girlfriend, and that's why he gets killed. So yeah, that's basically the tone and the theme of this fucking Fangan. That it's really brutal, and it's about fucking ponies. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? That it's gonna be wholesome? No, of course I'm kind of like, why am I so tragic when it comes to these things? This is not tragic. This is horrifying. What if I draw in some of these drawings down? I don't think people would have handled it because um the victim thing would have been like, well, this guy was chopped into little pieces and like cooked in a fucking what do you call it, oven. He was put in there while there was a fucking pie there which had his mother's pieces in it cooked, which he was eating beforehand, and that's why he went insane, and that's why he attacked the fucking character he was in love with, who just slit his throat. So romantic, isn't it? So yes, I don't think that people would have loved this, but if they would have loved this, you can tell me. I don't think people are gonna see me the same way after me talking about the story. I think people are just gonna think, what the fuck? Like, girl, who hurt you? I don't even know. Chapter 2 would have had. Chapter 2 would have had the two characters that were in love with each other. I think, I don't know if they would have died, but I think I was planning to. One of them would have been poisoned, I think, and I couldn't decide between one of the characters committing like suicide. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Or one of the characters just getting like his neck like chopped up and more. I know that this is insane, I know, but it was this thing where one of the most evilest characters committed murder, but the group didn't really expected her to do that because even though they knew she had something wrong, they didn't think she was that insane. And she also manipulated three characters. And I think one of the things I wanted to do in that chapter was three characters die, which I don't know if I would have done or not. So I meant three victims, right? I meant like that. Because I can see her do it. I can see her kill three people and get away with it almost. But then I felt like, well, maybe someone would notice this shit happening. And yeah, that's how they would caught her. And I think the chapter 3. What did I plan for chapter 3? I need to think about that one. Like, I don't even remember. I think, okay, I need to look at my characters real quick. The third chapter. Yeah, well, oh yeah, I know now. I remembered. One of the characters was secretly pretty much like a zombie, so yeah, she died, but she was bringed back to life. This is magic, okay? And her body was slowly falling apart while this killing game was happening, but she didn't tell anyone that she was suffering. And Yeah, she fucking dies. She suffers so much in that chapter, and she just dies. And the whole trial is about finding out why and how and what happened, because she just dies in front of the whole group, and there's no sign that she's gonna die. She just does. And I do feel really bad for her, because that's just really brutal way that all of her organs just blah, like it's really brutal, but that's how it happens. She was like mind controlled and stuff, so that she didn't even remember much. So the only time where she regains consciousness was when she's dying, right? So yeah, it's tragic, but not three people die in one chapter, at least like four people at once. So that's fun. Okay, chapter four. I'm sorry that I have to tell you this, but chapter four is even worse than chapter one, because it just has this really cute and sweet character commit the most brutal murder. I think I don't even know how to. So there's this character that's really cute, right? A really sweet character. I think she would be like Chihiro if she was seen as an actual human being. So that's why it's really unexpected that she she's the character that I was talking about and the Christmas tree, right? She does that to one of the characters because she was suspecting her that her sister was using some kind of mind control to possess her. But that shit was fucking wrong, because that doesn't happen. So she killed this character the most brutal way for no reason. So yeah, and one of the characters that Braze's friends just basically tries to defend her because he really likes her, because they were childhood friends, right? So it's a really sad and tragic and gruesome case, and I think it's insane. I guess chapter five, chapter five, chapter five is when everything turns into shit for Blaze. I guess Bernie. That's his second name. He has burned Blaze's name, right? So chapter 5, he basically, his best friend kills his other friend. So Dash kills Lemon. So that happens. And then he tries to kill Burn too. There's a lot of plot related reasons why he turns against them. It's about the fucking Bluey and burning Blaze's face thing, because there was a fire that Lemon caused where Dash lost his sister, and he didn't know that Bernie knew about this happening, and he didn't stop this guy because he was so gay. So obviously Dash turns against both of these guys and tries to fucking murder them. Obviously he only no, originally I made Dash actually kill Bernie in this chapter really brutally, and no one would have caught it happening. But I was like, I want Bernie's like sister to die in the next fucking killing game they would have had. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him live, but he has to watch Dash get executed. So yeah, he basically gets saved by Lime Miller. So that's yeah, he loses both of his besties in one chapter. So that's a really sad shit that happens. And yes, there was another thing I was almost did, which was one of the characters that I didn't really talk about, Blueberry. She pretty much had all of her friends die basically. Like all of them are dead now because in chapter 5 they are already dead. Even the girl she liked just died. And so she survives, yes. But the thing is that I was thinking, what if she tried to kill Dashi? But I don't think that it would have worked because Dashi had plot armor for some reason in this chapter, and so did fucking Blaze. But only that plot armor didn't really take for so long because Dash did fucking get executed, so it doesn't fucking matter for him. Um, what else did I wanted to talk about? Chapter 6. Chapter 6 has. Well, chapter 6 is when I think the characters are like, well, we have to kill this fucking villain guy because he's gonna do something. I don't know what the fuck, but that's when it gets revealed that there was another outsider, and that outsider is the reason why the villain in this scenario is. I'm not saying he's a good guy, he's not at all, but he's pretty much brainwashed by this character. If I had to like say like how powerful that character is, it's in the same level as Junko is. So that much. But they don't know who the fuck it is. In the end, the characters get saved by Lime's like I don't even think they are his friends. I would call them his enemies. And I think Lime would be the one who would put an end to Puppy's like existence because that's his name. Puppy's name is Puppy Pop Devon's name. And I know that's really childish, but if you know the meaning behind that and you think about it a little bit, yeah. Poor dogs. Anyways, I think that he deserves it, but I do also think that the character that's really, really controlling these things just gonna ruin everything and will come back at some point and would have just start another one, start another killing game. And that's how I was like doing the thing. That's the first one. I also made a second one, which had the family, like, I don't know, family members that signed in the characters to be in the killing games. That was just like the third killing game that would have happened. So those characters would have been in the killing game because they signed in the characters in the first and the second game. So yeah, and I think those ones kind of deserve it. Not gonna lie. The second one had the characters like other like relatives, I would say. So basically, it's like there's this group that just ruins universes because I don't think it's a despair thing. I just think that they are just evil fucks who just want to ruin everything with just killing everyone. I guess I don't even fucking know what the fucking plot was. I just think that it was made. I don't not the plot. I think it was more of the thing. It's more of like I do think I tried my best with this, but I didn't really write too much of this. Obviously, there's a lot of things that I wanted to include because they were more OCs, so I want to include my OCs into the Danganronpa universe, but I also want to include the My Little Pony stuff in it because I wanted to combine the things that I liked. It's just I like these three things, so why not? And I tried, and then It kind of sucked, but at least I tried it. Um, and I was really brutal with it. I think there was also a lot of bad guys that were trying like to. Oh yeah, I remember now something. I guess Lime's like ex friends weren't really the good guys in this scenario. They were more of like the bad guys that were letting these characters to almost die in the name of trying to kill Lime and Puppy. Because Puppy is a serial killer in the other universes. He's pretty much doing all of that shit because he's being mind controlled and cloned like a fucking. I don't even know why they would clone him so much. Because, okay, you know why? Because the main villain of the whole stuff is someone that hates him. But what she's trying to do is she wants to see this guy die over and over and over again. But she keeps bringing him back. And that's exactly why she fails in these killing games. Because these these puppy characters aren't actually wanting to be, they are trying to escape in some way. So obviously, they are going to try help these characters out in some way, even though they're not supposed to. So, so are they the baddies or the good guys? I don't fucking know. But at least the story was okay in my standards. I did fine. I could have done better, but it's kind of a mess like I am. So I tried, but it was also my first time trying to do something My Little Pony related. I did try other Fangans before it, but those ones I got really bored of. I guess I got really bored of those Fangans. They were pretty much like mid. I would call them really mid, because I think if I'm not attached to one of the characters in the fucking Fangan, I'm not gonna care. And I try to write characters that I give a fuck about, but that needs time. That's why I included Lime on the MLP one, because I knew that I wouldn't really care about some random fucking ponies. Like, I don't think I would have cared that much about it if I don't try to add something me about it into the Fangan, which I tried my best to. And I did. That's why it failed. I tried too hard to. I tried too hard, man. I tried too hard. It was just, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I also have another story, which is about Lime Hero as a human being, and he's not a pony in that, and he has a totally different story in that one, where he's just having these insane, like, toxic friends, and that's exactly where the fucking thing came from. These other characters came from that one. So yes, I'm pretty much done with that backend. But if someone is interested in it, I can text the plot down more in a more understandable way, in a more, I can explain it better when I'm writing, I guess, because I don't think I'm bad at social skills, but at least I tried it. So yeah, I think my favorite character is Slime. I'm not even gonna lie, he's the best. I didn't even say why, just overpowered fucking Mace with dickhead, but I like him, so I don't care. But thank you so much for watching my ramblings about my fangame. Bye!